Hi everyone, welcome to the Young Leading Leadership. Today we're going to be having Dr. Eno Praise, and he'll be speaking to us on striving for excellence. So I'm going to read out his profile while I wait for him to join us. Okay, so I'm going to read Dr. Praise profile while I wait for him to actually. Okay, so Dr. Praise sits on the board of several organizations, including the Todoroke and Todoroke Africa. Todoroke Africa is the strategic global consulting firm that provides branding, corporate training, human resource, innovative strategy, consulting, operation services, and integrated media solution. They work internationally in Africa, Europe, America, Middle East, and Asia. Todoroke Strategies Business Unit specialize in training, recruitment, oil and gas and defense, capital investment and advisory, business consultancy and management, infrastructure, trading, renewable energy, real estate and hospitality, finance, media, international event and entertainment. Its training focus covers performance improvement courses that enable sublime performance in individuals, groups, organizations such as executive presence, customer experience activation, workforce acceleration, image consulting, nation building, business development, business and personal ethics, personal and organizational branding, people management, social protocol and ethics, and much more. He's the author of 2 books: Customer Service, Make the Difference, Make the Profit, forwarded by the Steve Iris, and a note from Soin Alani will be installed very soon, and will be highly sought after by corporate organizations and individuals. The promo copy had over 2,000 downloads, and executive presence brand development workbook already out with endorsement from Cherry Hill, Mr. Charles O. Todo, Mr. Mike Omotosho, Mrs. Soin Alani. He was one of the first official delegates at ICPD Global Youth Forum Bill in Indonesia worldwide, December 2012. Dr. Praise is UK certified customer experience strategist, a London Image Institute advanced certified image consultant, a US certified life strategist coach, and a certified executive presence strategist. That is Mr. Praise. So I'm going to have him right now, and the show begins. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Hey,
Hello, sir. Good evening.
hey, good evening, good evening, good evening.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Thank you,
Thank you so much.
thank,
Thank you so much. I'm
thank you
really
for
grateful.
having me.
I think I should be more grateful.
Yeah,
My mentor saw your profile. He said, "Miracle, where did you find this man? This profile is very deep." I'm like, "Yeah." Thank you so much, sir. I'm really grateful.
thank you, thank you,
So much.
thank you for
Okay.
having me.
Thank you. So I saw Mr. Profile. I saw Mr. Praise's profile, and then when I went through it, I was very glad because of having to see an African product representing Africa. And I think so. I just said, okay, let me send you a message, and then I sent you a message, and I was surprised you actually responded, and it was so fast. I thought, so once you ask me questions, I need to maybe, and you just say I will accept, and I was surprised really, and I'm really grateful for this. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you.
Mr. Praise will be speaking
Well,
on striving for excellence. Yeah, the floor is yours, sir.
okay, so the floor is mine. Okay, great. Striving for excellence. First of all, let me make you understand that Excellence is not something you stumble into.
Mm,
So I'm going to be very free here, so I'll just keep talking.
mm,
Excellence is not something you stumble into. In your strive for perfection, what you get is excellence.
mm, mm,
So you're pushing on a daily to be perfect, but you can't be perfect because there is no perfection in everything you do. What you get is improvement. So, I mean, we grew up with the word practice makes perfect. I would always say that I beg to differ with that. Practice does not make perfect, practice makes improvement.
mm.
Practice makes improvement. Practice does not make perfect. So, in your strive for perfection, what you get is excellence. So, you're thriving for excellence. You're not thriving for perfection. I hope I'm making sense.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah. So basically, everything you do should connect you to excellence. Your dressing, the way you talk, the way you
Mm,
walk, the way you communicate with people, the way you relate with people, they should all connect you to excellence. So people see you walk into a room and like, oh, this guy is excellent in the way he dresses. Is excellent in the way he talks. Is excellent in the way he relates with people. So the connecting factor to all of this is what I call the executive presence.
wow.
Now, executive presence it is what would give you the excellence that you look for. So I'm going to just break down executive presence because basically you can't talk about excellence without talking about executive presence. Most people do not understand that as an entrepreneur, as a leader, as an employer, as an employee, we all need executive presence. If you have to grow and be at the top with the people at the top, you need executive presence. So over the years, I had to study a couple of people that had the presence. Now, you might be wondering now, what's executive presence? Okay, let's look at a couple of people for instance. Let's look at Barack Obama. Barack has a presence that when he walks into a place, everybody wants to listen to him,
Mm,
right? Now let's look at Donald Duke, the former governor of Cross River State. He walks into a place, everybody wants to listen to him. That is the presence that produces the excellence. Excellence is it's not a feeling, it's physical, it can be seen, it can be touched, you can relate with it. Let's look at one other person too, Fela Durotoye.
mm,
Fela Durotoye walks into a place, everybody will want to listen to him. Excellence. So it has to show in everything you do. So do you wear a shirt? You iron the front of the shirt and then leave the back because you're going to wear a blazer and just cover it up and say, okay, nobody's going to see the back, they just see the front. Yeah. What if you get into a room and then it is required that you pull off your blazer? What happens?
mm,
It becomes a different story, right? What happens if you are well dressed, you're wearing a black shoe, and then you're wearing a brown belt, and then your shirt is you're not tucking your shirt, and then you say, nobody's going to see the brown belt. I mean, and then it requires that you lift up your shirt for something somehow, and then people see that you're wearing a brown belt with a black shoe. Hey, or you want to relate with someone, you're talking to someone, and the person tells you his name, and then in the next 5 minutes you can't remember the person's name. You're calling, you're saying, hey, excuse me, that is not excellent.
Mm.
You see, so our everyday life, everything we do daily connects us to the excellence we're looking for. You're thriving for it. So everything you're doing, you're studying, your character, your charisma, your communication, your connection, your confidence, your composure, all of this has everything to do with the excellence you're looking for, the excellence you're trying to attain. Your competence. So people look at you, are you competent? Are you competent in your area of specialization? I was talking to someone a couple of days ago, and the person said, I need to know what to do. I'm like, okay, so what do you love doing? They're like, I don't know what I love doing. I'm like, for real? So here is the check. What is it that you can be called upon anytime? You can just wake you from your sleep and like, okay, come talk about this, and you just begin to talk. You need to locate what your passion is, because you cannot take a round peg and put it into a square peg. It does not fit. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. So the excellence you're looking for is what will take you to that top. And the process of it is what I call the executive presence. So you need to follow these steps. Your character, your charisma, your communication, your confidence, your composure, your competence. Competence gives you confidence.
Okay.
Because if you know what you're doing, you're confident enough to do it. When you know what you're saying, you're confident enough to say it. And then when you're confident enough, you can communicate with people without fear. So you see, it is not what you don't have that limits you, but what you have and you don't know how to use. It is what you have and you do not know how to use it that limits you. So what is it you have that you're not using? What is it you have you're not using? It's very important that you look inwards to pull out the talent and the gifts that are inside of you. You're doing business. You're striving to be the best in business. So let's look at it. Why did you start the business at first? I just before I came on here, I was in a different Zoom meeting with the Asian African Chambers of Commerce and Industry, the US chapter, and I told them something. I said something very important. I said, contact creates impact. Impact creates value. Value creates income.
Wow.
So it is the contact with people, with businesses, with yourself that creates an impact. Contact with books, with mentors, contact with proteges that creates impact. That impact in turn creates value. And then the value begins to create income. So I said, you don't start a business because you want to make income. You're breaking the chain. You are breaking the chain. So you're creating a business, you're starting a business because you want to solve a problem. You have a solution for a problem. Now, your solution is the impact that you're creating. The outcome of your solution is the value. And what do you get in turn? Income. So you're creating a business to solve a problem that will give you income. You're not creating a business to get income. So it's very important that we understand that in life we grow to create impact in everybody's life that we meet. So how you create that impact is very important. Now, so you see, everything I do, I tie it down to two things, three things, basically. I tie it down to executive presence, I tie it down to customer experience, and I tie it down to leadership. As a leader, your major priority is to create leaders, not to gain followers, and not to create followers. Your major work is to create leaders. Leaders are meant to create leaders, not to amass followers. Because when you create leaders, you duplicate yourself into the people that you have created. It's broken down into two. So you have the leaders and you have the rulers. The rulers will tell you, go and do it. You have to do it. The leader will tell you, let's go. Let us do it together. The leader will show you how to do it. The leader will lead you through the processes of doing it. The ruler will just tell you, go do it. So you see where excellence comes in. You pour out yourself into everyone that you lead. You're not leading them because you want to rule over them. You're leading them because you want to duplicate yourself in them. And in duplicating yourself in them, you make them better leaders because they would look at the places that you didn't do things right and then learn from it. Most importantly, people have been talking about leadership and all of that, and most importantly, I would always say that the best form of leadership is demonstrated leadership.
Wow.
Where people look at you and do the things you're doing. They don't do the things you say, they do the things you do. So right now in the world, we have leaders, I beg to say we have rulers telling people to do things and they're not doing it. So I tell you, you have to be at work by 9 a.m. As a leader, I should be at work before 9 a.m. Lead by example. That's excellence. So if you want your people to perform, maximize, if you want them to maximize their potential and maximize the time they have with you, you need to lead by example. So you tell them come by 9, you are there before 9. You have a meeting for 10 a.m., you are there at 9:30. That's excellence. That is excellence. Excellence is telling someone, please, can I have a cup of water? Not just, hey, get me a glass of water. Excellence is saying, thank you for helping me bring that. Not just collecting the stuff and then minding your business. Excellence is showing the little appreciation and the little courtesy in everything. Thank you. Please. Excuse me. Excellence is holding the door for someone to pass before you pass. Excellence is pulling the chair for someone to sit before you sit. Excellence is walking into a place and then something is not in place and you pick it from where it is and yet you put it where it's meant to be. That is excellence. So excellence is not just about dressing well, speaking well, driving the best car, living in the best houses, and no, it's found in the little things that we do on a daily.
Wow.
So it's very important. And in doing that, you have to study. You have to study and study and study. Studying, when you study, the things you study cannot be taken away from you.
Yes.
They're part of you. And they build confidence in you. So you can walk with your head up and your shoulders high. Because you've studied something that you know and no one can take it away from you. And then when you begin to talk about that thing that you have studied, have you ever seen a boy that just read a book? He's eager to talk about the book that he just read because he's so confident that he knows what he read and he is eager to share it with people. That is what studying, that's what excellence does to people. That's what confidence does. So you're always ready to share, you're always ready to speak, you're always ready to help. Please don't hesitate. You can pause me in between and ask questions. Instead of waiting to the end to ask questions, please.
Yes.
Because I already know you have questions in your mind to ask.
So I think I have one question. Before I even forget it. So
Yes.
you said something that excellence is found in the things we do daily, and one of the audience for this section is young leaders, because I believe that like they say leaders are the leaders of tomorrow. Young people are the leaders of tomorrow. Now, so you spoke about the executive presence. How would young people who have little knowledge about the executive presence, how can they actually begin to actually cultivate this executive presence in their space of life? Let's say maybe in the educational sector, in the academic sector. How can we begin to actually portray these things when we know we are limited by some can say that, oh sir, you're actually a very big person, so it is actually easy for you. But me, I'm just in school. So how do we actually do that?
You can do that while in school. It's simple. Like I talked about the 6 C's of executive. These are things you need to build. Credibility. You need to build your credibility with people. Do people trust you? So you see, once people trust you, they can tell you anything. They can do business with you. They can relate with you. They can share things with you. So credibility. What's your level of credibility? And then your charisma. How charismatic are you? How approachable are you? So these are just little things that would ignore on a daily. And then we look at the communication. How do you communicate with people? How do you talk to people? Do you talk to people fully, or you talk to people with disrespect and disregard? I told someone some time ago, I said, how people call your name will show you the level of respect they have for you.
Wow.
Yeah. How people call your name will show the level of respect they have for you, irrespective of who they are. So how do you call people? How do you communicate with them? And then the other thing is confidence. Like I said, if you do not study, you don't have confidence to talk. So you see, your competence, your communication skills, your confidence, your character is very important. These are the things you need to build to attain executive president. It's not a one-day thing. It's not something that happens overnight. I didn't get here overnight. It's years of practicing. And you see why I said practice does not make perfect, practice makes improvement. So the more you practice, the more you improve. So it's easy. They need to begin to practice these things to be able to attain executive president. By the time you start practicing while you're in school, by the time you're out of school, people will wonder where you were. Because you're at that point, you're already communicating, you're already behaving, you're already portraying and showing for the trait of someone at the CEO level. People wonder, I mean, when did he learn how to talk like this? When did he learn how to behave like this? When did he learn how to communicate? Practice. Practice. I hope I was able to answer that.
Wow. Yes, please. Yes, please. Very powerful. Very, very powerful. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So, sir, I think maybe, so
Yeah.
one of the reasons, actually we want to make the section short, but there's a few questions we'd like to ask our speakers before they leave. So a few questions. And one of the question is how you got
Please.
let me ask this question now. Okay. So sir, they say there's this saying that you're actually young and you've done a lot, you've achieved a lot. And they said there's a general myth that says it is okay to be lenient with your goals and vision while you're young. How were you able to balance being young with your passion and your drive for what you love, and at the same time having to understand when to be lenient? So while you were growing, while you were achieving all that you were doing, were you lenient at a certain point? Did you think, oh, let me just relax, let me not show the drive and everything? And even though you did it, how were you able to actually balance all of it?
Okay, very. It's. I wouldn't say I was lenient. Growing up wasn't very. Most people don't know my story, and it's something I'm going to say someday. Well, I might as well say it here, even though a couple of people know the story. So, growing up wasn't very fun. To be honest, if you know Lagos very well, when I tell people that I slept under the bridge for 3 years.
Wow.
I lived in Ojueleba Bridge for 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, in that period, I said to myself, I need to be someone. I have to be heard. Now, that got me these 3 phrases every time. Now, most of my letters, whenever I finish writing a letter, I use 3 hashtags: be visible, be outstanding, and be heard. It was under the bridge that I got those words. So I said, I must be visible to the world. I must be outstanding, and I must be heard. So while there, I was reading. I read everything I could read: newspapers, books, articles. I just kept reading. And then I began to study certain people, and then began to cut pictures for my vision board. Places I wanted to go to, people I wanted to meet, clothes I wanted to wear, kind of cars I wanted to drive, the countries I wanted to travel to. So I started having pieces of those places in a bag. And then I created a vision board where I had to paste those pictures on the board every time and just look at them. Okay, I'm going to be here. I'm going to meet this person. I'm going to meet that person. I'm going to meet this president. I'm going to meet that senator. I'm going to meet that minister. I'm going to fly to this country. And some of my friends will tell me, hey, you're daydreaming. Hey. They'll tell me you're daydreaming. And I said, okay, yeah, no problem. And then I got into school. The same thing happened. I had the map of the world on my in my space. I'll look at the world and I'll tick out the countries I wanted to go to, countries I wanted to have influence in. And all of this was going to United Nations as a force. Now, the aim is to be able to speak at the United Nations and to take decisions at the United Nations, and they will stand by that decision. And we're getting to a point where before they make a decision, God will help us, we'll get there very soon. They have to consult us on some major things. Right now they're looking at having agendas of how many years, and nothing is seemingly working. But we know we're getting there. So I pushed myself as much as I could in every way. Every day I would go to cyber cafes and just buy time to just read and just look at people, study the characters of people, look at how they grew up. People like Bill Clinton, people like Abraham Lincoln, people like Kennedy, people like what's this guy's name? One of the richest guys in America, one of the guys that built America. When I remember his name, I'll mention it. People like J.P. Morgan. I had to study people like J.P. Morgan. People like Kennedy. So I just had to keep studying them to see how they grew up, how they got to succeed. And then I said to myself, if these people can do it, then I can do it. And then at the point I get discouraged and like, oh, this thing is not working. And then I tell myself, no, keep pushing, keep pushing. There are times I will just relax and like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. And then I will watch him, and then at that point I will watch a movie, and then something will just spark up in me, and then I'm up again. Truth is, the world can be very discouraging, but you need to lock up yourself and focus. Focus on the things you want to achieve. Focus on the places you want to go. Focus on the people you want to meet. Focus on the results. The end point is what matters. So irrespective of the processes you have to go through to get to the point to get to the end point, you have to go through those processes. So I kept pushing. And here we are today. In the span of 7 years, I've met presidents, I've met prime ministers, I've met governors, I've met ministers, I've met head of parliament, I've met head of states. Did I stumble into them? No. It was deliberate. I saw it and I pushed myself to it. I might not be where I want to be yet, but hey, I'm not where I used to be. I'm not where I used to be. Just last month, we're in Dubai. We had an event in Dubai. We've been doing the event for the past 7 years, and people are like, hey, you're wasting your time, you're doing this, you're spending your money to do events, to gather people and do all of that. And like, yeah, don't worry, someday to pay. And then just last month, we had an event in Dubai. By God's grace, we had the presence of one of the sheikhs in attendance. And after that, we're like, okay, You're Nigerian, we're Emiratis, but we'd love to work with you.
Hmm.
And that's how we got an appointment to work with the office of the Sheikh. So you see, the more you push, the more
Hmm.
tired you might become, but the more you push, the closer you are to your dreams.
Hmm.
It's like building a house. You first of all you source for the land, you pay for the land. The next thing is that you clear the land. After clearing the land, you begin to dig the foundation. You excavate first and then begin to do the foundation. You do the foundation, then you begin to raise the blocks. You raise the blocks, get to the lintel level, you get to the decking level. Depending on the kind of house you want to build, you get to the decking level, then you raise up and then get to the other decking level, and then you roof the house, and then you begin to do the interior finishing and the exterior finishing, and then you begin to get the furnitures and all of that. So it's a process. Your success is a process. And then you see the house at the end of the day, oh, this house is beautiful. But you don't know what they went through to get the house to the finished top.
Wow.
So it's a process.
Wow.
I've gone through the process of clearing the land, excavation, digging the foundation, raising the foundation, raising the block work. And then we're gradually going up there. We're not there yet. We're not there yet, but we will get there very soon.
Wow. Wow. Mr. Dr. Praise. I don't know, I'm really encouraged right now with this, and I want to say thank you. Let me just first say thank you for having to open up with what you have gone through, and I'm really grateful. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I think
Thank you very much for having me.
I have a last question before the last one. So, the other one is, what can you tell us about mentorship? What can you tell us about mentorship for the younger generation? And you know, you've had experiences, you've had a lot of experiences with different people, you've met with different people. What can you say? What can you say is the impact of mentorship in your success?
Great. One of my personal mentor, I don't call him a mentor anymore. I call him father. I call him daddy. Fela Drotoye. We all know Fela Drotoye. Yeah, Fela Drotoye is one of the key mentors in my life that has helped me to get to where I am today. Then everybody calls Fela their mentor, but you know it's different for me because I don't call him mentor. I call him father. I call him father because I am where I am today by the grace of God because of some of the things he taught me. I mean, I have other mentors, Kule Sorinho. I have Joshua Awesome in South Africa. I have Christopher Salem in America. I have Dr. Sherry Hills in America. A whole lot of them that are my mentors, you know. And one thing I've discovered that about mentorship is that they pour into you. They pour into you their experiences, and then you begin to ride on those experiences to be a better person. So mentorship is very key in our age, in this age, in the 21st century. Mentorship is very key. And you know, you see a lot of kids out there doing what they want to do because there's no one to actually mentor them and guide them through. And then most of them are not ready to be mentored, because the truth is, I mean, you walk up to me and tell me, so I want you to be my mentor, and then you're not ready to do the things that you're meant to do as a prodigy to get mentored. Mentorship is not just by speaking. It's not just by talking. It is work. It is work. One of my mentors back in the years will always call me at 12 a.m. God help me, I'm not asleep. If I am asleep, I'm in trouble the next day. You know, so that process, I got used to that process to the extent that now I hardly sleep. I'm 3 a.m. I'm still awake, trying to read, trying to study things, maybe watching a movie to learn something from the movie. I'm usually awake, you know. And they will call me up. So which book did you read this month? What did you study this month? What have you learned this month? Share. Who have you impacted this month? So you see, mentorship is not just about impacting lives, but as a mentee, as a mentor, I'm impacting your life. As a mentee, you should be impacting someone else's life too. So it's a connecting chain. I do for you, you do for others. So mentorship is very key. And like I was telling a couple of people some time ago, we started up 3 initiatives that are interconnected that we're going to be running across, not just across Africa, but across the world, to be able to guide students, final year students, and maybe second year and third year students, to begin to guide them on how to make decisions and to begin to get into their own space before they even leave school. You know, it's a very important thing in this age. Mentorship is very important and it's very key. I'm where I am today because of mentorship. A lot of people know that. I mean, I give thanks to God for the lives of Anadotoye, Kule Sorinyo, Joshua Awesome, all of my mentors, Steve Harris, Sonia Lana, a whole lot of them. I can't start mentioning their names here. A whole lot of them, you know, they've poured into me. Mentorship is about pouring into you and you being able to give back to the people. So mentorship is very key. It's very important. I employ every young person out there, every entrepreneur, every person, whatever your space, whatever your area of specialization, you need a mentor. Get a mentor.
Wow, thank you so much.
Very important. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Dr. Prince, I'm really grateful. Thank you so much. So, we've come to an end, and the last question is this. So what is that one word, what is that one thing that you want young people and young leaders all over the world, and most importantly, West Africa, at such a time as this, in the kind of leadership we find ourselves in, even in Nigeria and West Africa at large? What's that one word, what's that one thing you want young people to know?
The one thing I want young people to know is be confident in yourself. When you're confident in yourself, no one can take it away from you. You're strong, you're bold, you're outstanding, you're visible, you're heard, you're charismatic. When you're confident, you can become anything and everything. So be confident. Be confident in yourself. And most importantly, like I would always say, be visible, be outstanding, and be heard.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir. I'm very grateful. Dr. Prince, I'm so grateful for this. I don't know how much to say thank you, but I'm very grateful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we're actually live on Mixer now.
You.
We have some people, but okay, no question for them, but we are live on Mixer now, and no question for yet. So, but I'm really grateful, sir. Really grateful. Thank you so much, Dr. Prince. Really grateful.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I didn't get that.
I said we'll be praying to actually have it physically. I'm actually Unilag now, so we do it physical in Unilag too as well in school. So I said one day we'll actually be praying to actually have it as well too.
Let me know when, and let's see how we can work that out. If I'm in Nigeria, I will be there.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Show Fabrics. Thank you everyone. Thank you for everyone that joined. I believe you learned something today. I mean, reach out, ask me questions, connect with me, DM me. Let's connect.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Okay, sir.
Thank you very much.
Sir.